Welcome the students of SC Civil for the subject Concrete Technology, Unit number 3, Properties and Testing of Hardened Concrete. So here we will refer the reference books. First, M.S. Shetty, Concrete Technology, Theory and Practice. Then another, M.L. Gambhir, Concrete Technology, Theory and Practice. And A.M. Nevle, Properties of Concrete. First we will see the course objective. With the successful completion of the course, students should have the capability to, first course objective, to know properties of various ingredients of concrete and concept of mixed design. Second course objective, to learn the behavior and properties of concrete in fresh state and hardened state. Third course objective, to understand special concrete and their applications. Fourth course objective, to understand the durability aspects and preventive measures to enhance the life of the concrete. Now we will see the course outcome. On successful completion of this course, student will be able to select the various ingredients of concrete and its suitable proportion to achieve desired strength. Second course outcome is students will be able to check the properties of concrete in fresh and hardened state. Third course outcome, get acquainted to concreting equipment, techniques and different types of special concrete. Fourth course outcome, able to predict deteriorations in concrete and get acquainted to various repairing methods and techniques. Now we will see the unit number 3, production and testing of hardened concrete. It is divided into two parts, part A and part B. Part A includes hardened concrete, which includes strength of concrete, factors affecting the strength, micro cracking and stress-strain relationship, relations between tensile and compressive strength, impact strength, abrasion resistance, creep and shrinkage. Part B includes testing of hardened concrete, which include destructive test, compression strength, flexure strength, indirect tensile strength, core test. Also it includes the non-destructive test, rebound hammer, ultrasonic pulse velocity, pull-out test and impact echo test. So we will see here part A, hardened concrete. In that we will see first the strength of the concrete and second factors affecting the strength of the concrete. So first we will see the strength of concrete. The compressive strength of concrete is one of the most important and useful properties of concrete. In most structural applications, concrete is employed primarily to resist the compressive stresses. In those cases where strength in tension or in shear is of primary importance, the compressive strength is frequently used as a measure of these properties. Therefore, the concrete making properties of various ingredients of mix are usually measured in terms of the compressive strength. Compressive strength is also used as a qualitative measure for other properties of hardened concrete. Strength of concrete is its resistance to rupture. It may be measured in number of ways, such as strength in compression, strength in tension, strength in shear, or the strength in flexure. All these indicate the strength with reference to a particular method of testing. When concrete fails under a compressive load, the failure is essentially a mixture of crushing and shear failure. The mechanics of failure is a complex phenomena. It can be assumed that the concrete in resisting failure generates both cohesion friction as well as internal friction. For a given cement and acceptable aggregates, the strength that may be developed by workable, properly mixed mixture of cement, aggregate and water under the same mixing, curing and testing conditions is influenced by, first, ratio of cement to the mixing water, second, ratio of cement to the aggregate, third, grading, surface texture, shape, strength and the stiffness of the aggregate particles, and fourth is the maximum size of the aggregate. In the above, it can be further inferred that water cement ratio primarily affects the strength, whereas other factors indirectly affect the strength of the concrete by affecting the water cement ratio. So first we will see the water cement ratio. The strength of the concrete primarily depends upon the strength of cement paste. It has been seen that the strength of the cement paste depends upon the dilution of the paste, or in other words, the strength of paste increases with the cement content and decreases with the air and the water content. Abraham's water cement ratio law states that the strength of the concrete is only dependent upon water cement ratio provided by the mix is workable. Once again I am repeating it. Abraham's water cement ratio law states that the strength of the concrete is only dependent upon water cement ratio provided the mix is workable. So here we will see the figure, relationship between the strength and the water cement ratio of the concrete. On the horizontal axis, or the water cement ratio is given. On the vertical axis, compressive strength is given. So here we can see the graph dark line which shows the fully compacted concrete, and here the hand compaction, it is insufficiently compacted concrete, and here by the vibrations. Next figure we will see the relationship between strength and cement to water ratio of the concrete. Previously it was water cement ratio, now here it is cement to water ratio. So on the horizontal axis it is having the cement water ratio, and on vertical axis the compressive strength is given in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. So here we can see it is the straight line. So here we can get the compressive strength respect to the cement water ratio. In previous figure if we see, it is hyperbolic, and because of that it is not so easy to predict the compressive strength. If we consider the cement water ratio, it will give the fairly good compressive strength of the concrete. Next we will see the gel space ratio. Instead of relating the strength to the water cement ratio, the strength can be more correctly related to the solid products of hydration of the cement to the space which is available for the formation of this product. Powers and Brownyard have established the relationship between the strength of the concrete and the gel space ratio. This ratio is defined as the ratio of the volume of the hydrated cement paste to the sum of the volumes of the hydrated cement and of the capillary pores. So, the Powers experiment showed that the strength of concrete bears a specific relationship with the gel space ratio. He found that the Powers found out that the relationship is to be 240 x cube, where x is the gel space ratio and 240 represents the intrinsic strength of the gel in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square for the type of the cement and the specimen used. The strength calculated by the Powers expression holds good for an ideal case. So, here we will see the graph which is showing relationship between the strength and the gel space ratio of the concrete. So, similarly here on the horizontal axis we can see the gel space ratio, and here we can see the strength of 50 millimeter cube in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. So, the graph is as like parabolic curve. So, as the gel space ratio is increasing, the strength of the cube is also increasing. Now, we will see the maturity concept of the concrete. While dealing with the curing and the strength development, we have so far considered only the time aspect. It has been pointed out that earlier that it is not only the time but also the temperature during the early period of hydration that influence the rate of gain of strength of the concrete. Since the strength development of the concrete depends on both the time and the temperature, it can be said that the strength is a function of summation of product of time and the temperature. This summation is called as maturity of concrete. So, maturity can be given mathematically as that is equal to, maturity is equal to summation of time multiplied by temperature. The temperature is reckoned from an origin lying between minus 12 degrees Celsius and minus 10 degrees Celsius. It was experimentally found out that hydration of the concrete continues to take place up to about minus 11 degree centigrade. Therefore, minus 11 degree centigrade is taken as a datum line for computing the maturity of the concrete. The maturity is measured in degree centigrade hours, that is degree centigrade HRS hours, or degree centigrade days, that is degree centigrade DAYS days. So we will see here the numerical example. A sample of concrete cured at 18 degree centigrade for 28 days is taken as fully matured concrete. Now we have to find out its maturity. So its maturity is equal to 28. This is 28 days multiplied by 24. Here this 24 is the number of hours, multiplied by 18. So here 18 degrees centigrade is given and minus 11. So minus 11 it is here, it is given. It was experimentally found out that the hydration of the concrete continues to take place up to about minus 11 degrees centigrade, or we can consider as minus 12 degrees centigrade and minus 10 degrees centigrade. The average is coming minus 11 degrees centigrade. So here the same value is taken, minus 11. So 18 minus 11. So minus will get plus. So 18 plus 11, it will give 29. So 29, it is having positive value. 29 multiplied by 24 multiplied by 28, it will give 19,488 degree centigrade hours. However, in standard calculations, the maturity of fully cured concrete is taken as 19,800 degree centigrade hours. So here, by doing the mathematical calculations, it is seen that the value is coming 19,488 degree centigrade hours, but for standard calculations, the value is taking of the maturity is 19,800 degree centigrade hours. This discrepancy is because of the origin, or the datum is not exactly being the minus 11 degree centigrade as it is used in the calculations. If the period is broken into smaller intervals and if the corresponding temperature is recorded for each interval of time, the summation of the product of time and the temperature will give an accurate picture of the maturity of concrete. In the absence of such detailed temperature history with respect to the time interval, the maturity figure can be arrived at by multiplying duration in hours by the average temperature at which the concrete is cured. Of course, the maturity calculated as above will be less accurate. Maturity concept is useful for estimating the strength of the concrete at any other maturity as a percentage of the strength of the concrete of known maturity. In other words, if we know the strength of the concrete at full maturity, that is 19,800 degree centigrade hours, we can calculate the percentage strength of identical concrete at any other maturity by using the following equation given by the Plowman. The strength at any maturity as a percentage of strength at maturity of 19,800 degree centigrade hours is equal to A, capital A, plus capital B log to the base 10 maturity upon 10 to the power 3. The values of coefficient, that is capital A and the capital B, depend upon the strength level of the concrete. The values are given in the table. So here we can see the Plowman's coefficient for maturity equation. So in the first column we can see strength after 28 days at 18 degrees centigrade, maturity of 90,800 degrees centigrade hours in MPa, megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. Then second column we can see the coefficient value of A, capital A, and in third column we can see the coefficient value of B, capital B. So the strength after 28 days, if it is less than 17.5, coefficient A will be 10 and coefficient B will be 68. If the strength is between 17.5 to 35 Newton per millimeter square, then coefficient A it will be 21 and coefficient B it will be 61. If the strength after 28 days it is between 35 to 52.5, then coefficient A it will be 32 and coefficient B it will be 54. And if the strength after 28 days at 18 degrees centigrade, maturity of 19,800 degrees centigrade hours, in megapascal it is between 52.5 to 70, then coefficient A is 42 and coefficient B it will be 46.5. So here we can see as the strength range value is increasing, coefficient A value is increasing and coefficient B value is getting decreasing. So these are the Plowman's coefficient for the maturity equation. So here we will see one numerical example. The strength of a sample of fully matured concrete is found to be 40 megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. Find the strength of identical concrete at the age of 7 days when cured at an average temperature during the daytime at 20 degrees centigrade and at night time at 10 degrees centigrade. So we have to find out the strength at 7 days. Whatever the value is given 40, it is after 28 days, that 40 Newton per millimeter square. So we will find the solution. Maturity of the concrete at the age of 7 days is equal to, formula is given, summation time multiplied by temperature. So here at 7 days we have to find out. So here 7 multiplied by 12 because it is 12 hours, as well as night time is also there. So separately 12 is there. So 12 hours multiplied by 20. So here daytime 20 is there. So daytime 12 hours and the 20 temperature minus 11. This 11 is the average which is considered. Then plus 7. This 7 days multiplied by 12. This 12 hours is for night time multiplied by 10. So the temperature at night is 10 minus 11. So next step we will get 7 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 20 minus 11. So it will be plus 11. So 20 plus 11 it will be 31. Plus 7 will be here, multiplied by 12 will be here, and 10 minus 11. So minus 11 it will be plus 11. So 10 plus 11 it will be 21. So 7 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 31, the value is coming 2604 plus 7 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 21, the value is coming 1764. So 2604 plus 1764, the value is coming 4368 degrees centigrade hours. So the strength range of this concrete falls in the zone 3, for which the constant A is 32 and B is 54. So we will go back here. Here it is zone 3. The value of mature concrete is given 40. So it is ranging in the third zone. It is ranging between 35 to 52.5. So A value is 32 and B value is 54. So same thing it is taken here. Constant A value is 32 and B value is 54. The percentage strength of the concrete at the maturity of 4368 degrees Celsius hours. So this 4368, it is taken it from here, 4368 degrees centigrade hours is equal to A plus B log to the base 10, 4368 upon 1000. So A value is taken 32, coefficient A, B value is taken 54, this is coefficient B from Plowman's, multiply by log to the base 10, and 4368 upon 1000, it is coming 4.368. So 32 will be here plus 54 multiply by log to the base 10, 4.368, it will be given 0.6403. So 32 plus 54 multiplied by 0.6403, value is coming 66.5%. This is the percentage strength of the concrete at the maturity of 4368 degrees centigrade hours. So we have to find out the strength at 7 days. So the strength of the concrete at 7 days is equal to 40, which is given previously in the example. Here it is given 40. So 40 multiplied by 66.5. So whatever the percentage of the strength of the concrete at maturity of 4368 degrees Celsius hours is coming 66.5 upon 100, because it is percentage. So the value is coming to 6.5 megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. This is the strength of a concrete at 7 days. It is 26.5 Newton per millimeter square, whose compressive strength fully matured is 40. So we have seen in part A, hardened concrete, the strength of the concrete. Now we will see the factors affecting the strength of the concrete. So factors affecting the strength of concrete. Although porosity is a primary factor influencing the strength, it is a property difficult to measure in engineering practice or even to calculate, since the degree of hydration is not easily determined, assuming of course that the water cement ratio is known. The main influencing factors on the strength are in the practice as first, water cement ratio, second, degree of compaction, third, age of the concrete, and fourth, the temperature. However, there are also other factors which affect the strength. So first will be aggregate cement ratio, second, quality of the aggregate, which includes grading, surface texture, shape, strength and stiffness. The third is the maximum size of the aggregate, and fourth factor affect the strength of the concrete is the transition zone. First, we will see the water cement ratio. Strength of a concrete primarily depends upon the strength of cement paste. It has been seen that the strength of the cement paste depends upon the dilution of the paste, or in other words, the strength of the paste increases with the cement content and decreases with the air content and the water content. Abraham's water cement ratio law states that the strength of concrete is only dependent upon the water cement ratio provided the mix is workable. So here in the water cement ratio, in the numerator the water will be there and in the denominator the cement will be there. So here again we can see the graph relationship showing the relationship between the strength and the water cement ratio of the concrete. This horizontal line is having the water cement ratio and vertical line is having the compressive strength. So here as we will increase the water cement ratio, it is seen that the strength is getting reducing. So for less water cement ratio, the strength will be more, compressive strength of the concrete it will be more. For more water cement ratio, the strength will be very less. So this line, dark line, shows the fully compacted concrete, and this dotted lines, this dotted line shows the insufficient compacted concrete. This is by hand compaction and this is by the vibrations. So here another graph we will see relationship between the strength of the concrete and the cement water ratio of the concrete. So now here in the numerator the cement will be there and in the denominator water will be there. So here on the horizontal axis we can see the cement water ratio, and on vertical axis we can see the compressive strength in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square. So here we can see the line which is a straight line. Previously we can see here the graph, it will be hyperbolic curve, and here we can see the graph which is a straight line. So for cement to water ratio, if we increase the compressive strength of the concrete, it will get increase. Next factor which is affecting the strength of the concrete we will see, that is the degree of compaction. In ordinary construction, it is not possible to expel all the air from the concrete, so that even in fully compacted concrete there are some entrapped air voids in the concrete. Assuming full compaction and at a given age and normal temperature, strength of the concrete can be taken to be inversely proportional to the water cement ratio. This is called as Abraham's law. Now the third factor affecting the strength of the concrete we will see, that is the age of the concrete. With an increase in age of the concrete, the degree of hydration generally increases, so that the strength of the concrete increases. It should be emphasized that strength of the concrete depends on the effective water cement ratio, which is calculated on the basis of mixed water less the water absorbed by the aggregates. In other words, the aggregate is assumed to set up some water so as to reach a saturated and surface dry condition at the time of mixing. So we will see the other factors which are affecting the strength of the concrete. In that, first it was aggregate cement ratio. It has been found out that for a constant water cement ratio, a leaner mix lead to the higher strength of the concrete. Lean concrete is considered to mean mixes with high aggregate to cement ratio, generally not above the 10, the ratio aggregate to cement ratio, and should be distinguished from a lean mix concrete base, the latter used in concrete road construction may have an aggregate cement ratio as high as 20 and is suitable for compaction by rolling. The influence of aggregate cement ratio on the strength of the concrete is shown in the figure 6. It is on the next slide, we will see it. The main explanation of this influence lies in the total volume of the voids in the concrete. Clearly, if the paste represents a smaller proportion of the volume of concrete, as is the case in a linear mix, then the total porosity of the concrete is lower and hence its strength is higher. The above argument ignores any voids in the aggregate, but with normal aggregates these are minimal. So here we can see the figure 6 which shows influence of aggregate cement ratio on the strength of the concrete. So here we can see the water cement ratio on the horizontal axis. On the vertical axis we can see 7-day compressive strength in megapascal or Newton per millimeter square, and here we can see the aggregate cement ratio. This circle it will have the 6, triangle it will have the 5, plus it will have the 4.5, and cross it will have the 3, that is the aggregate cement ratio. So here we can see this graph. So second other factor which is affecting the strength of the concrete is the quality of the aggregate, which includes the grading, surface texture, shape, strength and the stiffness. The influence of aggregate properties on the strength of the concrete is of secondary importance. The stress at which significant cracking commences is affected by the shape of the aggregate. Smooth gravel leads to cracking at lower stresses than the rough and angular crust aggregate. The effect similar in tension and compression is due to a better bond and less micro cracking with an angular crust aggregate. In fact, the influence of the aggregate shape is more apparent in the modulus of rupture test than in the uniaxial compression or tensile test, probably because of the presence of a stress gradient which delays the progress of cracking, leading to the ultimate failure. Hence, concrete with a angular shaped aggregate will have a higher flexural strength than when the rounded shape aggregate is used, especially in mixes with the low water cement ratio. However, in practical mixes of the same workability, a round shaped aggregate requires less water than an angular shaped aggregate, and therefore the flexure strength of the two concretes are similar. Here the two concrete means concrete with a rounded shape aggregate and a concrete with angular shaped aggregates. Now we will see other factor affecting the strength, that is the fourth, that is the transition zone. The interface between the aggregate and the hydrated cement paste is called the transition zone. Once again I am repeating it. The interface between the aggregate and the hydrated cement paste is called as the transition zone, which has a higher porosity and is therefore weaker than the hydrated cement paste further away from the aggregate. The surface of the aggregate is covered with a thin layer of CaOH2, that is calcium hydroxide, followed by another thin layer of CHH, that is calcium silicate hydrates, and then the thicker layer of the same materials but without any unhydrated cement. The strength of the transition zone can increase with the time in consequence of a secondary reaction between CaOH2, that is the calcium hydroxide, and pozzolana. Example, we can consider it as the silica fume, which has finer particles than the cement particles. Limestone aggregate produces a dense transition zone, and so does lightweight aggregate have a porous surface. So we have seen the factors affecting the strength. So here we have seen the part A, hardened concrete, which include strength of the concrete and the factors affecting the strength. Now we will see the YouTube link which are available on YouTube. First, the strength of concrete, number 1. Next YouTube link, fresh concrete, part 1. Next YouTube link, water cement ratio of concrete, strength of concrete, number 2. Next YouTube link, gel space ratio, strength of concrete, number 3. Next YouTube link, strength of concrete, number 1. Maturity concept of concrete, strength of concrete, number 8. Next YouTube link, 11 factors that can affect the strength of concrete. Next YouTube link, factors affecting the strength of concrete, ways to gain more strength of concrete. So Unit 3 of Concrete Technology, the title is Properties and Testing of Hardened Concrete. It includes Part A, Hardened Concrete, and Part B, Testing of Hardened Concrete. So in Part A, Hardened Concrete, it includes strength of concrete, factors affecting the strength, micro cracking, and stress-strain relationship, relation between the tensile and compressive strength, impact strength, abrasion resistance, creep and shrinkage. Part B, testing of hardened concrete. It includes destructive test, compression strength, flexure strength, indirect tensile strength, core test and non-destructive test, rebound hammer, ultrasonic pulse velocity, pull-out test and impact echo test. So, thank you all students.